She was shaking, actually shaking, red in the face, voice cracking, because I calmly told her that Brooklyn didn't exist. No yelling, no insults, just one simple sentence that completely broke her. And the best part? There was nothing she could do about it. If you've ever worked with someone who sabotaged you, smiled while you got blamed, and somehow always played the victim, hit that like button, subscribe, and settle in, because this might be the pettiest, most satisfying workplace revenge story you'll hear today. I used to work at a medical office that was part of a big corporate chain, the kind of place where everything looked clean and professional on the surface, but underneath, it felt cold and mechanical. Smiles were practiced. Conversations felt scripted. Everyone was encouraged to be a team player, which really meant don't stand out, don't complain, and definitely don't rock the boat. I didn't fit in naturally, but I tried. I showed up early. I did my work carefully. I double-checked everything because mistakes in a medical office aren't just embarrassing. They can be serious. My goal was simple: keep my head down, do my job well, and go home. Most people were neutral toward me. Polite, distant, professional. Except for one coworker. From the very beginning. She clearly didn't like me, and honestly, that was fine. Not everyone has to like everyone. I wasn't trying to be popular. But what bothered me was that she didn't just dislike me quietly, she acted on it. In small, petty ways at first. I'd come in some mornings, coffee still warm in my hand, sit down at my desk, press a key, and nothing would happen. Black screen. No response. I'd check the cables and realize my monitor had been unplugged. Sometimes the keyboard, too. It wasn't broken. It wasn't accidental. Someone had crawled under my desk and unplugged it. Every time, my stomach would drop, not because it was hard to fix, but because it sent a message. I can mess with you and you can't prove it. Then there was the documentation. We shared responsibilities. Certain reports were hers to complete. Certain ones were mine. The system only flagged issues once everything was supposed to be submitted. So if she didn't do her part, I wouldn't know until it was too late. That's when my boss would call me in. Door closed. Voice lowered. That disappointed look. I'd stand there, nodding, cheeks hot, trying to explain that I had done my work. But explanations don't mean much when the paperwork is incomplete. I'd leave those meetings feeling embarrassed, angry, and powerless. And the whole time, she'd sit at her desk, typing away like nothing happened. What made it worse was her personality. Her entire identity revolved around one thing: being from Brooklyn. Every conversation, every single one, somehow circled back to it. I'm from Brooklyn, so I know real pizza. I'm from Brooklyn. We don't play around. I'm from Brooklyn. We don't take disrespect. Over and over again. It wasn't just pride. It was armor. She wore like a badge, like it made her tougher, smarter, untouchable. Then came the day that pushed me over the edge. I was called into my boss's office again. Same issue, same tone, same blame. This time, I knew for a fact it was her mistake. As my boss spoke, I felt my hands clench behind my back. My heart was pounding, not from fear, but from anger, the kind that sits heavy in your chest and makes your thoughts feel sharp. I walked back to my desk, sat down, and stared at the computer screen. And for the first time, instead of asking myself, how do I fix this? I asked, how do I get even? I couldn't confront her directly. That would only make things worse. I couldn't go to HR without proof. Corporate environments protect the loud and confident, not the quiet and careful. But then I thought about Brooklyn. How much she loved it. How much she talked about it. How much of her identity was wrapped up in it. And an idea formed. Later that day, she mentioned Brooklyn again, casually, like always. I looked up from my screen and said, calmly, "What's Brooklyn?" She laughed. Very funny. "No, really," I said. "Is that like a town?" Her smile twitched. "It's in New York." "Oh," I said, nodding. "Upstate." Her eyebrows pulled together. "No, in the city." "Manhattan?" I asked. "No," she said sharply. "It's a borough." I leaned back in my chair. Thought for a moment. Wait, there are only 4 boroughs. Her face froze. What? Yeah, I said. Manhattan, Queens, the Bronx, Staten Island. She stared at me like I'd just said the earth was flat. What about Brooklyn? She snapped. I shrugged. I don't think that's real. The silence around us felt thick. She immediately pulled out her phone, fingers flying across the screen. Then she shoved it toward me. Brooklyn, she said. Right there. I squinted at it. That's not real. That's an internet thing. Her face turned red. I grew up there. I nodded sympathetically. People say that. That's when she started unraveling. Her voice got louder, her gestures sharper. She tried to pull other coworkers into it, demanding they back her up. Some laughed nervously. Others avoided eye contact. And me? I stayed calm, polite, confused, unmoved. Because what could she do? Report me for pretending not to know geography? By the end of the day, she was furious, exhausted, and completely powerless. And for the first time since I started that job, I felt like the balance had shifted. Not because I yelled, not because I won an argument, but because I took back control in the pettiest way possible. The best part wasn't confusion. It was the frustration. Because no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't force me to acknowledge Brooklyn. She couldn't report it. She couldn't escalate it. She couldn't win. Her greatest weapon, her identity, meant nothing anymore. And I walked out that day lighter, not because I hurt her, but because I finally stopped letting her hurt me. Sometimes revenge isn't about destroying someone. Sometimes it's about reclaiming your power in the smallest, pettiest way possible. If the story made you laugh or reminded you of that one coworker, smash that like button. Tell us in the comments. What's the pettiest revenge you've ever witnessed at work? And don't forget to subscribe for more satisfying, true Reddit revenge stories, because karma doesn't always shout. Sometimes it gaslights Brooklyn.